Good morning, dear teacher. I am going to start the initial analysis to The Nightingale and the Rose by Oscar Wilde. Notice, there was a picture of a young man sitting on the ground. The text was written in prose, and the title left me confused since there are two characters, but I was not able to discover who the protagonist could be without starting to reading. Patterns. The author repeats some dialogues and phrases reflecting the altruistic effort that makes the nightingale for the young student. He also uses patterns to encourage her to make a red rose, despite she had to sacrifice her life to get it. Finally, the author used the simple past. However, he used the simple present and the future with will to emphasize facts that will happen. Regarding the contrast point in this story, the author used the pronoun she to describe the nightingale, even though she is for a male gender. Similarly, he highlights love as supreme feeling, more valid than precious emeralds, but he also showed it with a requirement imposed. Feeling. The story was developed around a ironic tone that all of the characters in the story appear to understand that there is not a reason to suffer from the absence of material things like a rose. And it becomes disturbing because it seems that anyone could stop the nightingale die. What basically is it about? An unnecessary suicide. The nightingale finished with her life on making a red rose believe that this sacrifice will give a student love, but it was never close to happening. What would you like to know more about? I would like to know why the author used compound words joined with a hyphen, like to hyphen tomorrow. Why does not he just write tomorrow? Also, I will classify the story of the Nightingale and the Rose as a fairy tale, since it used fantasy but also a narrative text that describes a romantic story with a bitter taste at the end. Who is addressing? Children, adults, and people in society, since the author talks about animals but focusing on solving a problem. Where and when? The story was written in 1888 and the setting is in the garden where the nightingale knew the problem that the student had. And the cold weather was the perfect environment for a red rose never grow up. How precisely it is done? The author used clear and simple language with short grammatical structures, and also he makes comparisons, employs a variety of adjectives, and a lot of exclamation marks. What does it seem to have been written? To tell us that money or rose, material things like a rose, cannot give us happiness because we never put our attention to love and only search to get a lot of rose. Finally, if the text were changed, the message could not be understood. So this story represents the current society where people search to accumulate material things, thinking it is the key to being happy, but they continue feeling empty. Thank you so much.